I'm Jeff Kleinman, the editor of BevNet. I'm here with Paul Curran, the VP of Marketing for Essentia Water, and with Neil Kimberly, the VP of Strategy for Essentia Water. The reason that we have these folks with such important titles layered into this company is because it's been growing at about an 80% rate year over year for the past 2 years, and it's been a 10-year overnight success. Leading, it's the leading water brand in the natural channel right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, Spins Natural, we are the largest water of all packaged waters.
Now, what I find interesting about Essentia and its success is that it's based on a premise that I think can be a little hard for consumers to digest instantly. There's a devoted group that follows the alkalinity movement, but it's a small sample when compared to the broad swath of water drinkers out there. So I wanted to ask you first, Paul, like, how do you take a brand that's got a very carefully calibrated, almost faith-based scientific proposition and turn it into something that's in place for mainstream consumers, which is obviously your next target audience?
So we were the pioneers of alkaline water in the late 90s, and there are many consumers, like you said, that are looking for a high pH alkaline water, but we've taken it beyond alkalinity. Our focus is on superior hydration, which every consumer desires. So we've linked our better alkalinity and higher pH and our technology to a broader consumer platform that is has more broad appeal than just the alkalinity and the high pH by itself.
Now, is the expectation that alkalinity as a trend will eventually provide the sort of lacking consumer insight that the mainstream consumer may have, or do you feel like you've really got to start almost educating them backwards down the line once they start buying into the category?
Yeah, I think there's a lot more, a lot more media and a lot more medical community information about high alkaline diets. We're really trying to downplay that and really focus on the process of what makes our water different and how that relates to consumer benefits like better hydration. So while it's a key marker of our brand and we started it, at the end of the day, the consumers that drink our product day in and day out talk about how they feel better, how they're better hydrated. It's not just about a specific attribute on the label.
Now, as Director of Strategy, Neil, what do you do with that sort of consumer insight as you start to take the brand in new directions?
I think there's a lot of challenges that go along with that. Where do you allocate the resources for field marketing? What do you allocate against potentially basic awareness? And then how do you actually communicate that to the trade? And so we've really taken the approach of being meaningful to the trade first, and luckily with the data that we have to support the success of the brand, they're receptive to that message. The next challenge is going to be actually doing the traditional activation that beverages have to go through of sampling and getting it in the consumers' mouths. And if we're able to do that, people try the product, it seems to work. Certainly we've had a great amount of success at Essentia with making sure that those trial-driving strategies can work.
Now, in moving from natural to conventional channels, a lot of brands will head either straight for grocery or they'll head straight to convenience. What's the Essentia play with regard to its growth stages?
Sure. So we've done a really good job with Ignite Sales Marketing as a part of our organization to actually penetrate natural channels. We're basically in 100% of Whole Foods, about 70% of the natural channel. And now our challenge is to go to another channel and be successful there. So we're predominantly a water brand that has a female following. They tend to shop in grocery. That's been our big focus. So we're currently in about 6% of U.S. groceries. Our challenge now is to increase that. So we started to focus in some of the larger, more upmarket accounts where we believe these consumers are shopping. And now the challenge is going to be to take that success and again translate that into the general market.
Now, you said your consumer base skews female. What's the draw for them, and is it enough to support a brand that's still in a highly competitive category?
So I would say that the consumer is female, as there is in most water products. So I don't think that's necessarily a challenge for us. And again, what's that skew? 60-40, so got 40% males. Certainly our package is more male-oriented than many water brands. Certainly it is a very strong and masculine kind of communication, and we're attracting more men within that. So I think the future is definitely there. How we proceed is going to be very much based upon where that success comes from and how we can leverage that into other accounts and growing the brand more effectively, first in grocery and then in other channels.
Now, Essentia just pulled in some money, a smallish round of $3.2 million in convertible debt.
Yep.
How long before you need to go to the till again, guys?
Especially
with such high-priced hires coming on board.
Oh, it's not tomorrow. So we're looking at some pretty good growth rates likely through the summer, just with some of the incremental distribution that we're bringing in. The brand is currently relatively profitable. Certainly for an early-stage brand, it's pretty profitable. So we're hoping that we're going to be able to get through some big expansions in the business in the early part of the year before we need to raise any more capital.
All right, we'll hear from the Essentia Water booth at Expo West. I'm Jeff Kleinman with BevNet. Thanks very much, guys.
Our pleasure. Thanks, Jeff.